Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, with that fuel money, you wouldn't think you'd jail
Well, I think some of them stuck.
I was your own.
I just started, yeah.
though.
Business.
You do, didn't do anything.
Did everybody make?
Kids made it over for a little while. They were- And they,
You're making home.
Yeah, I'm wrong side.
A lot of people that see the fair. I think it's gonna be a lot of New Year's Eve patients and stuff. Up the key here's about.
Plans out, it's just very. stand
Five.
up, it's what- We just.
For an inch of snow, that was like about 3.5 we had. My sister's on, go dangerous, they're lucky they left at 4, so they just had daylight there.
The
Who's
wine,
she married?
red wine.
Thanks, dude.
Gene and, Eunice Meyer was his parent.
Oh, James kid?
Out there.
Oh, what's he do?
Well, he's disabled now. He went to school to be a
Oh, that's not my.
pastor.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. And
Got the
then
big balls there.
Well, then I know who he did.
He went to school for what?
be a pastor.
Oh, yeah.
They went to
He used to be a
St.
skinny little guy.
He still is.
Still is?
Pretty much.
8 o'clock.
Let's stand and do the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Melissa, we have some public discussion.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come and kind of update everybody on the winter weather and the blizzard that we had the past holiday over the last week. So, law enforcement was busy. Lots of people still want to travel when there's no travel advice, and they did go out and do some rescues. The Can-Am that emergency management came in very handy. They did twice up to Bancroft, to Birds, to Woodmore, to the other side of, to the east side of Algona. Just, if they wouldn't have had that, the trucks had a hard time getting through. They were getting frozen up and had to be towed in. So it was a good thing that we had that piece of equipment. The downfall is it was so blistery cold and the winds were blowing, the heater just wasn't keeping the cab warm enough, and the fluke of that is happening is, there's nothing I could do about it, but they were thankful that they had the unit to go out and get those people, so. It's proven its use, which I'm glad, and I'm glad it was available for them to have, so.
The 2-seater?
No, it's 4. You can actually get 6 people, 3 in front.
Because you got the big one.
Yep. So, we did identify a few things that we need to add in there, and I'll be working on that as well. Just to make sure that the equipment is there that is needed, so, extra flashlights and things like that, so. A couple of blankets just in case, but it proved to be really useful and very thankful for that, so. I was sending out a situational awareness to you guys, so I'm hoping that came in handy and you were following through, and it was. I will continue to do so, with any of our storms. Just trying to find the format that I really like the best, and that seems it's our lifelines, the first chart. I really like that. So we'll continue to use that. I had shelters already in place prior to the storm. I had already those arranged on our main travel roads on 169, here on 18, and then up on 9. So we already had those identified, and law enforcement were aware of them as well. So they were utilized. Bancroft used City Hall and Sisters Inn. We had a truck driver that was brought into Lakota. He stayed at the fire station until Eagles Center came and got him and took him to there. So that worked out really good. So I was happy all that worked out fine, and we didn't lose any lives. Did talk to Doug quite frequently. We did have some transfers, during all of this and, we had arrangements for snowplow to go in front of our ambulance to transport her to Mason City, but, the medical director chose not to. We were able to stabilize the patient here well enough for us to do multiple transfers on Saturday. So it was a back-to-back trips to Mason City. So, but all in all, we did lose a life, so I was happy with that. And everybody got rescued and get the equipment. So I could thank the secondary roads enough for all they did out in that weather and getting people there. So anyway, it's funny.
So how many people did they pick up or did they?
Ballpark, probably 10, 12 people. I know one car had 6. So it may be a little bit more than that. I lost count after so often. I was just trying to radius back and forth, but it was just, it's good communication between all of us. So I was,
Thank you, Krista, for giving up your holiday and your weekend to keep everybody safe.
so I am here for.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Griffin. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda and minutes dated December 20th?
So moved.
I have a motion by Donnie, second by Wyatt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Doug's on his way.
Any more public
I
discussion?
say, Dick, you have anything? Phil?
Yeah, I do, Mike. I just wanted to confirm that our board of supervisors is still doing the things that are financially responsible for the taxpayers. I got into a little, overheard a discussion that upset me immensely, wasting of money, I think. I hear you're looking for sprinklers or irrigation system for the lawn here.
I haven't heard anything about it.
I know somebody here, who's in charge of the budget for the grounds here at this? Well, 2 employees are out soliciting bids for an irrigation system. And I think that would be the dumbest thing we could do because right after you put that in, you gotta buy water. Unless if you need water this, I'd go down to the sewer plant, bring up some brown water and irrigate it. And I'm sure some other taxpayers would do the same if you needed water. But I think if you guys aren't in control of who's soliciting bids for things, I think somebody needs to get their fingers pinched a little harder and reprimanded for that kind of thing. But I know for a fact, there's 2 employees soliciting bids for an irrigation system for this courthouse's lawn. They can deny it later on if they want, and the guy I talked to said he's not about to give me his bid because that gives him somebody else an unfair advantage. They've been soliciting bids for an irrigation system. And I think major thing is after we waste the money to put it in, that we have to waste water. That is precious in the United States these days. We need an irrigation system. That's what I needed to say today.
Thanks, Vic. Doug, we're up to the award the bridge contract.
Good morning, yes. We did not receive the contract from the Department of Transportation. The bridge was let last Tuesday. A lot of times they'll come in on Monday. We didn't know how things were going on, so we put it on the agenda. We'll put it on the agenda again for next week to approve that contract.
Make a note.
It's the bridge on P64 north of Highway 18. 64 runs up to Titanca, doesn't it?
Yes.
Do we have any approval of construction in the right?
There were no requests for construction of the right of way for today.
Your workers, when they work like Sunday was Christmas, like the holiday, yesterday was paid day off, they get double time,
No,
just time and a half.
time in hand, yes.
And if they didn't get to work Thursday or Friday because they couldn't see, so basically they don't even get time and a half, or do they? Or do you have to
They-
hit 40 to get time and a half?
No, 8 hour day. They, Thursday,
You
they
fold about
worked
4.
over 8 hours, so
Okay,
hours over 8. Friday, they worked 8 hours,
okay,
went home. They came in early, went home early Friday.
cause if they're not getting it, they should get it, cause they were
Oh,
out there
yeah,
on their
Fair Labor
holidays.
Standards Act requires. It's in the contract that the road department has with the board, it's spelled out pretty clearly as to, hours over 8 hours.
So I've had several people comment to me that the courthouse, they shut it down, everybody gets paid. But the workers are still out there freezing their butts off moving the snow so we can get around. That's not quite right in my book. They should be compensated.
They're compensated, yes, for their work. They do a bunch of time clock.
Thanks for all you did over the weekend. Keeping
You're
us
welcome.
informed and everything, that's nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for being your staff.
Yes, you're welcome. We'll make sure we pass that on from, to everybody in the newsletter in January, so.
Anything on zoning or anything else?
I just kind of, with the storm, I want to thank Carissa Mueller. We started our discussion. She invited me over Monday afternoon. And we kind of just waited to see what Tuesday would bring in, but we had a lot of preliminary discussion of what was going on. And I think that really helped, at least with the emergency portion of it. I also like to thank Sheriff Roger Fisher, some of his deputies and law enforcement officers and the dispatchers. We did respond to a couple of automobiles that were stuck in drifts with people that in them and aided in those, in getting those people out of the cars. So we did have some work there. Big thanks to the road department. They did a lot of work last week. Very poor conditions. We do have some equipment that is broke down. We should be able to get that repaired. We are running short. We have 2 men. We got to get 2 hired into Hitonka. We need a mechanic. We had some fuel problems up north. Hopefully it'll warm up and get everything going there. This week, get some cleanup, get the road and equipment back into shape, so. It was a challenge, but I think we did very well on it, kept things going, so.
How bad that truck get bad? I heard somebody ran in the back of one of your trucks.
We had,
That's several trucks.
it was not a truck, it was actually a motor grader, did not do any damage to motor grader, but
Oh, real good.
did some damage to a automobile driving it,
Yeah, I heard it was screwed it up a little bit.
yeah. So. And those are the types of things. We're out moving snow. This was on, I think, Wednesday. And automobile runs into the back of our maintainer. Well, you gotta call up law enforcement, gotta get law enforcement out there. It just slows them down. Because all of a sudden, they're not getting any snow removal because they gotta wait for law enforcement, they gotta get their reports all filled out and go from there. Last year, I think it was, we had a similar, no, it's 2 years ago, last year. But 6:30 in the morning, guy passed with a maintainer, hit the maintainer, well. 4 hours later, people are wondering why they're not getting, why the road hasn't been cleaned out, well. You had a delay of about 2 hours, just getting everything taken care of.
I heard he thought the snow was just blowing across the road, so he went to pass or something and bam. He drilled it.
Yeah, so, anyway, those, there were a couple times where people were stuck, and naturally that takes a little bit of time off snow removal, as people need to run out there. But when the public hits us, we stop plowing there too.
You don't pull people out, do you?
If it's a life or death situation, yes. If it is not, no.
I heard Friday, my better half, her friend, her husband runs for the state, and they have orders not to pull anybody out, but it was so cold Friday, by 9:30 in the morning, he pulled 5 out. They told him, start pulling people out so they don't freeze to death.
Yeah, that's a life or death situation. But I don't know if you guys know where Dolores and Junior Till just live, but right to the north of their house is a very bad spot, right south of our transfer station. I think it was 11 o'clock on Saturday before we could even, we went up there and got to where the cars were, but it's like the first car, they saw the first car, well, we can make it further than that guy. They get stuck. And Jacob Radmaker and I had a few conversations there, so we knew there were automobiles in there, but one gets piled up, the second one, there's 3 or 4 cars stuck in that one. So, and that slows it down too.
Yeah.
Text now.
January 23. That's a Monday. That is when planning and zoning will be meeting to, discuss the carbon dioxide sequester plan. So that's what we got scheduled. We'll get it advertised.
Where's that held at, Doug?
I was just gonna hold it in this room.
Can anybody come up?
Oh, yeah, it's open to the public. I'll also have it, I open those up via Zoom. It'll be advertised.
What time is it?
We haven't put together the time yet. I gotta talk to a little bit with Brian and Dave Rock, Mark Scooter, to get the time, but I think it's gonna be around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll make sure when I email out to the paper that I email it to you guys as well. Yeah.
Before you go, for the snow removal and stuff, obviously I wasn't here. I didn't get back till Christmas Eve, but, so I do want to compliment you guys on the emergency work and everything, but I know there's some very frustrated people in the northern portion of the county right now with snow removal or lack of snow removal on gravels. Brian Till just texted me last night after I had talked to you, asking why their road was not cleared. And he asked me to share a message with everyone on the board and you. And he said, I'm irritated that our roads did not get cleared today. We had to plow our own way on gravel for Christmas dinner guests, which makes us look like a third world country. They certainly should have been plowed today. No excuse for that. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. And there's another, Facebook post that was shared with me. I'm not friends with this person, so I'm not going to name names, but in this post, it says, don't worry, Kossuth County. No one essential lives on gravel, I guess. If you're worried about paying overtime, I guess I'm not worried about paying my taxes. Not a shot at any operators, but the ones in the office who spent holidays with loved ones and weren't out in the elements. You go ahead and play politics, and there's some other choice words there, but I want to share that. There's definitely roads up there. I drove a number yesterday afternoon, and there's not a single one I wouldn't have sent a plow down on in my area. So.
All right.
I think you did a good job, though. You did what you
I
gotta
think
do.
our operators did a real wonderful job. They worked. Yesterday was observed by many businesses as a Christmas holiday. Living in rural Kossuth County can be very nice. Living in rural Kossuth County can be a bear. people have to realize that. There are times where things are gonna be great. And there are times where, especially during the winter, there are gonna be times where you may not be able to get out. We have a workforce, they have families. They like to enjoy their family time as well. They were working every day. They put in hours from last Wednesday to today. They were out 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. They were out working. They did what they were told to do. And I guess if anyone is not satisfied with that, you gotta take some precautions.
I understand all that. I think I asked Bob Dode from Webster County, cause
Who?
I'm Bob Dode, another supervisor from Webster County. I'm on several other boards with him, and I asked if their maintainers ran yesterday. He said, yeah, all day. And I said, pavements, gravel, bowl, or what? Said, everything. I'm not saying we would have had to hit everything, but I feel like one pass on the gravel would have made a huge difference in a lot of areas.
And it would have been us working till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon as well. I thought the guys deserved some time off. Got the pavements, get the pavements, you were okay.
One of the pavements, I went down to the farm at, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And at Galbraith Road, you had to drive on the wrong side on the shoulder. But then I called Scotty and Scotty said, we're gonna hit it one more time before we shut down, cause I had people calling me, and sure enough, there they were, busting the last trail for the night, so people could get around.
This was the end of last week,
So
Saturday.
yeah.
Thanks, Doug.
We better
Oh, Doug, how's everything ready?
slow.
I know that.
Doug,
I gotta talk to them today and see what's going on again.
You have one more thing on here? Private crossing and drain.
I'm not really involved in that. I guess I think.
Oh, that's the
I can-
drainage,
I know
that's the drainage engineer, okay.
I will, because I know that coming off of the road there, so guess I will listen there.
Don, you representing?
Yeah, this is,
Yeah. You wanna come up?
Ten meeting today,
Yeah.
they asked me if I come in and, I've addressed where it's available on the phone. Any questions for Ivan? I was with Ivan last night, and he stated that he had done the design and yes, we awarded for.
I guess, does Vince have any questions on the proposal or?
Not that I know of. She'd like to have it improved.
Are we approved to let him do it or give him the dirt off the bank to use?
What's in the proposal? That's what.
They got in the proposal to buy the dirt to install the culvert, but I think there's plenty of dirt on the ditch bank on that one.
Where's that?
Vince Johnson's
Yeah, where's that?
drain four.
Sure. I have the report in front of me, but I don't remember reading that, what you just said, Roger.
Cause you were gone the last 2 weeks.
There was dirt on the ditch.
I've read an entire 5-page proposal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Vince was back there telling us everything a week ago, so I mean. So if you don't have all your information, it's because you weren't at the meeting.
Well, that was not in the folder or in the report as it was just discussed.
Well, go on your computer and that's what them 2 owls are. You could have sat there and listened to the whole meeting.
Guess what? They're not online.
But they
I
were.
watched the first meeting. I was gone already, all of it.
I thought that's what they're supposed to be online.
They're not online yet.
He's looking at the backfill, $14,000 for fill. we did it before for people, allowed them to use ditch bank dirt for,
As long as they ain't selling it.
Yeah.
They're selling it now.
so,
Well, in the report, it has backfill. being
Correct.
Purchased, it's not coming from the ditch.
So I'm not sure if we
It's
want,
gonna have to be pulled down. If you're going across, I mean, there's gonna be dirt there.
there's gonna be dirt there.
I mean, let's get real and.
Yeah.
Put it there.
You want to approve of that backfill charge in there, or if we approve it and he doesn't need it?
Well, we can approve the report, but I think I don't know if he's gonna go through,
Just an
is he
estimate.
planning on going through with it?
I believe so,
Is he?
yes.
I think he could come in here and ask, just as the other guys did, to use dirt off the ditch bank.
Well, there's gonna be pulling that ditch bank back on the east side
Yeah,
to get to his driveway.
right. Yeah, there'll be some dirt there.
Have you been by there, Roger, see if that?
Yeah. There'll be dirt.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pipe,
110.
110 feet.
Why is he making it so long? Or don't you know?
Either way, right.
Or just approve it's there and then.
Yeah.
It's just on a gravel road.
Tell him if he wants to,
Yeah.
if there's,
Yeah.
yes, so.
And the-
Use some ditch bank dirt and put it in asphalt.
Right.
So just approve,
Yeah.
it's there. So we can just approve what's there and then you can tell your brother to come in and say,
My friend.
Yeah.
or your friend, and say that if he wants to, you know,
Yeah,
ask for permission to use ditch bank dirt, then they can come in
right,
and.
he's not even able to.
So we just approve what's there and then. If he wants.
He's gonna be, I mean, the ditch bank is higher than the road on the east side, so there's gotta be dirt.
Yeah.
That ditch bank.
Yeah.
Let's get real about it. You're not gonna build a driveway like this.
Right,
No.
right.
And they gotta dig it a foot deeper than the bottom, so that means you're
That's
gonna dig dirt out of both sides of the road ditch and the ditch bank. There'll be dirt dug out.
Yeah.
So I don't totally see that they're gonna need that much backfill. Yeah, well, it'll be what it'll be.
Right.
Yeah.
One of those things I don't imagine, you know, until you're done.
No, you're not going to. I would move to approve the report for the crossing on Drain 4 by Vince Johnson.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Platt. Marge?
And with that be, I'm saying,
Yeah.
be in accordance to the design plan by INS.
Right, by INS.
Right, that in the motion, so it's noted that.
Okay,
So that they.
you got that in the motion, Mark?
Approve that.
Roger, are you going to require, staking and construction inspection? Because in this, one of the first things that jumped out at me in their opening paragraph, it specifically says that no survey or on-site evaluations were completed for this report. It was all a desktop report, basically.
Yeah, they did, they had the report for Drain 4 when they cleaned it.
But that doesn't show if it's currently at design grade or if it's silted in there or what the current status is. So you're relying on a picture on a piece of paper to build something that actually has to be built in real life.
It said somewhere in that
It said,
report that they're farther down was the low spot, so if the water gets high, it'll run out there and it won't run back to here.
Some-
That's
somewhere in the
upstream-
report,
That's upstream of that, there's a lower bank.
Yeah.
But that does not have current elevation, that does not have, this report has nothing in there about inspection and actually overseeing it being installed correctly.
he's got in there, he wants it at least a half a foot below the design grade
Yep,
of the
And
ditch.
that's what'll happen.
And that's what will happen.
So is it going to be required to be inspected and surveyed? Because you can't guarantee that's happening unless you have the equipment to verify that it's happening.
I'm sure the contractor he uses will do those things.
Yeah. In the past, have we ever had them inspect the crossing?
I don't know, it's not in the records. It should be.
The catch twenty two there for someone who doesn't follow it, have it, they have to tear it back out.
Right.
So they're gonna do it right.
They're not gonna do it wrong.
That's correct.
Well, I guess another thing that was kind of concerning was above the cost estimate, there's a paragraph for flow velocity. And it says the existing flow in the ditch is 2.4 feet per second during the design event. And 3.16 feet when upstream overtopping conditions occur. The flow velocity after installation of the private crossing is estimated to be 7.69 feet during the design event. So more than triple. And then 11.89 feet per second over during upstream overtopping conditions. So they recommend riprap for 50 feet on both sides. But one, I don't know if 50 feet's enough. And two, are we reinforcing anything on the upstream side? Because that will have, I would assume, extra pressure and force when all this water is coming down and having to hit a wall and speed up through a culvert.
So are you saying that Ivan and Spencer didn't do their job on this, or that they're not capable engineers of designing this, or?
No, I'm saying I've seen the flows through the private crossing that is just about a half mile west of 169. And there's been a number of concerns about that in heavy rain events. And we've had damage to the ditch around that area because of that cross.
So they have those, that damage hasn't been fixed?
It has been now
How was it fixed?
with this project of pulling the banks back and riprap being added.
Well, I mean, if
But it's
something
a
happens,
combination of
if
both.
there's damage, it's like any other repair request. When damage happens, then we put in requests and we fix it. You
You're
can't.
talking about that pipe north of then?
North bankrupt, yeah.
Yeah.
West side 169.
Yeah. They put that in without us knowing it. We didn't know about it until
I
after.
was told it was engineered, but when I had talked to Dan about it, he said that was designed for a 1 in 10 year storm. And this has 2-year, 48-hour storm. So,
It never came past the board of supervisors.
okay, well, I'm not aware of that, but
I am.
okay, well, then we should probably address that situation, I guess. But that has caused damage along the ditch. So I don't know that we should set ourselves up for future damage. That's a significant change in velocity.
Anything else? We have a motion and a second. Mark, can you read the motion, please?
To approve the ISG and engineer letter report.
ISG, right?
ISG, sorry, I haven't written down. To approve the INSG engineer letter report for private crossing for Vince Johnson for the DD4 open pit.
Okay. Everybody understand the motion? Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Stecker,
No,
Casey,
Yes.
Lots,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Jerks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thanks, Doug.
Have a good one.
you bet. Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Clint, you got any questions? Thanks for coming in.
Roger, is it ISG or ISMG? I'm doing ISG, ISG, okay,
Should be on here or something. It's ISG.
yeah. I thought I heard you say ISMG. Sorry,
We have a pay app for the second one for DD 60 sub 1 tile improvement. It's in the folder. Amount due is $67,099.57. What's that?
so it looks like you re-signed it, you can read the name this week.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Can read name last week, two initials.
For signature?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people's signatures that you can't read.
Well, anybody could have signed it.
Any questions
That's a stretch.
on the pay app? Again, it's for $67,099.57. Do I have a motion to approve the pay app? I'll make the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stecker. Any discussion?
That's for the whole thing or just the final of the thing up there?
No, just for the 67, there still has a 10% retaining.
It's just a partial. They're
It's a partial one.
not even done with the main yet. And then there's all the laterals too.
I'm sure he's given up.
I don't know if he's completely done for the year, but during this cold snap, I know he wasn't doing anything there. So yeah, could be. I don't know. Looks like nicer weather coming again though.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, do a roll call vote.
Stecker,
Yeah,
Casey,
Yes.
Whack,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Jerks.
Yes. We have one drainage repair request. Yeah, I'll sign those. Mr. Stecker, you have a request?
yeah, Kenny Lubenthal, he had called me about this previously. Lead yard section 19, there's a section of open ditch he thinks needs to be cleaned out because it silted in, so. That's number 66.
What drain is that on?
80.
80?
66. Last one for the year. A wet year, we had that, in what, 2 months?
Yeah, we did. We ended at like 150 something, I think.
There.
Motion to direct the supervisors to take care of the request.
I have a motion by Mr. Plath to have a supervisor take care of the request. Do I have a second?
Second of them.
Second by Casey. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Anything else, Mike? Anybody have anything else for Mark? If not, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
We will go to,
Thank you, Marge. was a pleasure working with you the last 4 years, because this last time, I guess we probably worked together.
Thank you.
You're a very knowledgeable lady. You helped me quite a bit.
Have discussion with our auditor.
Hey, just a reminder that tomorrow night at 5 o'clock is the swearing in of the office for the newly and raised officials. So we'll have that tomorrow night. Next week is our first meeting of the 2023 year, so that's our big agenda for the year where we do pretty much everything for the year. If you have any questions or need any additions to anything, I'm still working on the NICOG board. One, I have to look at that again. We have to appoint business.
Yep.
So we'll do that next week as well.
We don't take care of that Connect lady that she's quitting.
No, I don't think so. I think we just approved the
Take
board.
down two spots, right?
business. Yeah, I think so. So,
Roger took the last spot.
Harley's gonna keep on doing it. Hold on. You haven't heard nothing.
I haven't got it. I know Maureen's gonna stay another year, and then she's getting off.
Yeah.
I put her on, last year. She took, Don's spot.
Yes.
So and then next week, we have the board meeting, then the fund bureau meeting at 6 o'clock, and then we have budget workshops on Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll be a busy week next week with all of that going on. And then I'm busy answering budgets and getting this year finished up and getting ready for next year. So
What's the Farm Bureau one?
that's the annual one that they do where you go for supper and they
Tell you what's going on.
kind of ask questions.
Cause you guys didn't go to the Farm Bureau before, did you? So we ran, me and your grandpa sat beside each other and we just drilled some questions.
Good dates.
And they did that with Donnie and his, you know,
6 o'clock.
Kyle and Don,
That would have been,
18.
that would have been one before the election.
Right. So you're gonna check in the sprinkler deal,
Yeah,
see what's going on.
Yeah, we watered the lawns before, I wasn't aware, so I'll check that.
yeah, you got extra water costs, but you won't have any sewer on it. If you hook it to a different name or meter, they don't charge you.
If there's another meter, otherwise you have to install another meter.
Yes, when you get expensive, another meter, you guys can do that. I don't think they need sprinklers.
What's the reason they have the water long? That's like it's always wrong green to me.
You gotta mow it.
Yes. So I'll talk to them about that. Figure that out. And then I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
With you and you and-
We'll be here next week yet for a little bit.
Well, thank you for your help with everything.
Done a good job.
That's everything.
Kyle, you got any board reports?
I do not. It's warmer where I was.
Mr. Casey?
I had people calling about roads not getting plowed and nothing on the wind last week. And whoever called me, it's normal every 2-3 day about the wind, the pipeline.
Pipelines.
Yeah. They talked to me again. Otherwise, meetings. Oh, my wellness was the week before. It should have been last week, but it was the week before. So no, I had no extra meetings.
Donnie?
I got care connections this afternoon, so next week, I don't know if that's how you want to put that agenda for discussion. I'll just discuss that before right away, then we'll meeting start.
We'll do it in public,
Right, the old
full
business.
business, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have public, our supervisor discussion on old business.
Yeah.
Anything else, Don?
Nope.
Jack?
Yeah, Board of Health meeting last Wednesday, talked about immunizations, public health emergency plan update. They run a little short on money for the COVID clinic. And then I guess we talked mostly about the ordinance for the carbon pipeline, what needed to be approved by us, and the board decided they wanted to check with the state to see if they had any recommendations on that, and we put it back on for the February 15th meeting. I thought that'd still be soon enough to get it approved. So they're gonna see if the state has any input on that. I suggested maybe adding a little more than what the example had. Because there was some more information later on in there about separation distances and stuff. So we'll take that up at the next meeting for approval.
I didn't have any meetings last week.
I guess we had that thing Tuesday night, they were all there.
Yeah,
Oh,
compensation board.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we all went to the comp meeting.
Yeah, I get no questions on it from anybody. No. How you heard the results?
I did hear the percent.
Anything else to come before the good of Kossuth County?
Oh, I did have a couple of people talk to me about that comp board. They think the sheriff's getting too much. But I can't do nothing about it.
You know, the state's, pretty hardcore on what they want these sheriffs to be paid, so,
The back to blue law that they
yeah.
put in 2 years ago.
Yeah, but today's paper, they're gonna cut budgets, spend less at the state, lower property taxes. And
Yeah,
first they encourage you to give raises, and then they tell you they're gonna tell you to lower your property tax.
they lower the budget at the state level because they pass it to the county level.
Well, and then they give all the commercials a 50% break. Hearing nothing. Do I have a motion to adjourn, Mr. Casey?
So moved.
Donnie,
Second.
that motion? Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, what do you do?
Pictures, by the way.
Do the picture quick and
Doug's 141.
oh, yes.